ambassador accredited, and GPEX 2019 sees 600 delegates participating. Stay with us for the next half an hour as we take you through major stories covered from November 18 to 21.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.
Ties with the Republic of Kenya were further strengthened on Wednesday when His Excellency President David Granger accepted letters of credence from High Commissioner of the Republic of Kenya to the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Anthony Mwaniki Mucheri.
President Granger received the accreditation from Kenya's first ambassador to Guyana on Wednesday at the Ministry of the Presidency. He noted that Guyana looks forward to learning from Kenya's expertise in developing its ecotourism potential and improving wildlife management.
Guyana notes Kenya's National Climate Change Action Plan. It seeks to address the options for low carbon, climate resilient development pathway, the adverse effects of climate change, and the vulnerability of our states are shared national priorities. Excellency, Kenya's success in its preservation of its wildlife is acknowledged internationally. Guyana can learn from Kenya's experience and expertise in developing its ecotourism potential and improving its wildlife management and protection policy.
High Commissioner Anthony Mucheri said the occasion marks the dawn of a new friendship aimed at bringing the two countries together for the benefit of its peoples.
As the first ambassador of Kenya to Guyana, I intend to foster closer relationships with Guyana and endeavor to achieve the promises made to both the Caribbean and African peoples by the founders of our nation. Thank you, Excellency.
Guyana and Kenya have enjoyed cordial relations since the establishment of diplomatic ties in December 1970.
Meanwhile, earlier in the week, the head of state received a courtesy call from Prime Minister of Barbados, the Honorable Mia Amor Motley, at the Chadijagan International Airport, Temeri. Prime Minister Motley was accompanied by Barbados Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Jerome Walcott, and other officials. The Prime Minister made a brief visit to Guyana on her return to Barbados from the Republic of Ghana. Wednesday also saw the official opening of the second annual Guyana International Petroleum Business Summit and Exhibition, GPEX 2019, at the Guyana Marriott Hotel, attended by hundreds of stakeholders in the oil and gas industry from across the globe.
While addressing the delegates via video message, His Excellency President David Granger stated that the emerging petroleum industry is an exciting economic enterprising development. Guyana, the head of state noted, is adamant about effectively managing this natural resource.
Guyana is being prudent about managing its incipient petroleum industry. It is seeking the best advice and assistance and adopting the best international industry practices. It will establish a robust institutional, legal, and regulatory architecture to manage this industry in a manner which will ensure transparency and which will secure best interests of the country and fair returns for investors and businesses.
The President also welcomed new investment in the sector.
Guyana welcomes further investment, both in the petroleum industry and in the emerging green economy. It is keen to ensure conditions which encourage increased local content, which will promote more partnerships between local and foreign investors.
In brief remarks, the Director of Energy, Dr. Mark Bino, noted that GPEX 2019 is timely as it provides an opportunity to demonstrate the catalytic importance of Guyana's emerging oil and gas sector.
Through rent capture, knowledge transfers, and technological advances to bring about transformative development inclusive of the country transitioning to safer, more affordable, reliable, sustainable, and newer forms of energy. The importance of this cannot be overemphasized given the intense efforts for global decarbonization. A people-centered approach remains our modus operandi for realizing our development ambitions. Our peoples remain our most treasured resource.
The GPEX conference ends on Friday. From the Marriott Hotel in Georgetown with videographer Leon Liang, Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
ExxonMobil's Senior Vice President of Upstream Oil and Gas Deepwater, Hunter Farris, said the company is here to partner with Guyana and its people to develop its oil and gas resources in a responsible and mutually beneficial way.
So far, more than 3,400 people in Guyana have worked on our exploration and project activities directly, including more than 1,700 Guyanese. Since 2017, we've more than tripled our local workforce, and we're continuing to build. We also rely on the Guyanese supplier community, more than 600 vendors and suppliers with more than 36 billion Guyana dollars, or 180 million US dollars, in spending and counting.
That was ExxonMobil's Senior Vice President of Upstream Oil and Gas Deepwater, Hunter Farris. He explained that this includes those who are being trained in Singapore, Canada, and the US, or already contributing to the company's local operations.
It's super exciting to develop the future leaders of the industry from the ground up. And through continued development, Guyana is becoming increasingly connected to the world economy, and the oil and gas sector is a key part of that process. I believe that Guyanese should be confident and proud of their increasing role in the world.
Dozens of businesses are working with ExxonMobil in various fields. These include supplying rations and a variety of shore-based operations. The coalition government is finalizing a local content policy to define how companies in the sector are expected to utilize local content and resources in a variety of ways. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
We have a lot to report from the infrastructure sector this week. First up, residents of Leg 1 can breathe easier with two brand new multi-million-dollar sea defense projects being completed and commissioned on the island on Sunday.
The projects, one at Success and the other at Endeavour, are crucial as the island is often prone to flooding during the high tide.
This is a multi-billion-dollar project, over $8 million US dollars. With the support of the Caribbean Development Bank, designed to keep our ocean away from the land of Leg 1. And this just goes to show that what we've been saying, that the government is interested in development not only of areas that voted for it, but the entire country.
According to Minister Jordan, the initiative was undertaken with the people of Leg 1 in mind.
It's all about the people who live on this island and who make a living from this island. So I'm extremely grateful to have been able to come here and see the project and just help cut the ribbon to declare it open.
Added to this, these projects are proof of the government's commitment to working for all Guyanese. Minister of Social Protection, the Honorable Amna Ali.
This coalition government is about serving its people. And whether you belong to the coalition government or you do not belong to the government, it is our duty to serve you. And this is what we have been doing.
Minister Ali commissioned the sea defense at Endeavour, which was constructed by BK International. Both projects were funded by the Caribbean Development Bank. Reporting for InfoHub, Nikosi Bruce.
Great news for the indigenous community of Warramuri in the Moruca Sub-District, as it will now benefit from a new $12 million electricity distribution system.
The system, which will provide power to 350 residents of the Moruca Sub-District village, was officially handed over and commissioned on Saturday, November 16th, by Minister of Natural Resources, the Honorable Raphael Trotman. The electricity system, which is complemented by LED lights, will power the village's school, health facility, and police station. With provisions made in the 2019 budget for the system's procurement and installation, Minister Trotman assured that this is greater than an election promise. He said it represents the government's commitment to ensuring all Guyanese have access to an improved standard of living.
We have a president and a cabinet and parties in government who want to make a difference in your lives.
Minister Trotman added that Guyanese in every corner of the country are now better off than they were, citing development in education, infrastructure, and public security.
The fact that it has come means that you are not forgotten, and it means that we have kept our promise.
The multi-million-dollar electricity system represents a fulfilled need of the community. Under the previous administration, the villagers were presented with a small generator which could not adequately power the village. Over the last few days, ministers of government have met with and listened to concerns of residents of regions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Neola Damon, InfoHub.
Fourth Island and Lower Bonacika in the Essequibo Islands are set to undergo major transformation as Minister of Public Infrastructure, the Honorable David Patterson, pledged an infrastructural upgrade package to enhance the living standard of the residents.
One of the visions of His Excellency is that every riverine area that has a waterfront, that it must be built in such a way, as MP Carlton said, that it's inviting and safe for everyone. We believe it out at every village will be a nice focal point. You mean a wharf sort of stelling social area where persons and tourists, a lot of tourists will be coming here. A lot of persons, they'll be coming from landlocked countries. They've never seen rivers this big, this wide, this majestic.
Minister of Public Infrastructure, the Honorable David Patterson, $40 million will be invested come 2020 to upgrade the Fort Island stelling. After meeting with residents of Fort Island, Minister Patterson traveled to Lower Bonacika, where he committed to provide solar streetlights for both Fort Island and Lower Bonacika. This will be donated through the Guyana Energy Agency, which falls under the purview of the Ministry of Public Infrastructure. In relation to the construction of a walkway in Riversview, Lower Bonacika, Minister Patterson told residents his ministry will provide the materials and equipment as the island dwellers opt to execute the works through a self-help initiative. The Region 3 administration is exploring the possibility of having a nursery school constructed at Riversview. Shaquille Bourne for InfoHub.
Finally, in infrastructure, Minister of Public Infrastructure, the Honorable David Patterson, says the Inter-American Development Bank has suspended disbursements to the Sheriff Mandela Road Expansion Project due to the negligence of the contractor, Sino Hydro Corporation Limited.
According to Minister Patterson, the halt in funding is due to many serious health and safety infractions as well as failures in traffic management by the contractor. In a statement, Minister Patterson said that Sino Hydro was warned on several occasions to rectify these issues, but unfortunately to date, the majority of failures identified have remained outstanding. As such, the minister said the suspension of funds from the IDB for this project comes as no surprise, since he has consistently stated his dissatisfaction in the contractor's performance. To arrest the current situation, the Public Infrastructure Ministry has commenced action to address the defaulting issues, since these failures pose serious safety risks to the general public. This halt in funding has led the contractor to lay off one of its workers. The Public Infrastructure Minister has strongly condemned the misinformation peddled by Sino Hydro that the layoff was due to failure by the ministry to honor its funding commitments. Rather, Minister Patterson has urged the contractor to take responsibility of its contractual obligations so that the $6.2 billion project can be executed to enhance the lives of Guyanese. Reported from Mandela Avenue with videographer Kareem Peters, Shaquille Bourne for InfoHub.
On the education front, more than 2,000 persons over the past weekend graduated from the University of Guyana at its 53rd convocation ceremony.
The students were conferred with degrees and diplomas from the faculties of Agriculture and Forestry, Education and Humanities, Health Sciences, Natural Sciences, Social Sciences, School of Entrepreneurship and Business Innovation, and the Institute of Distance and Continuing Education. 2 graduation ceremonies were held to accommodate the large number of graduates. The graduates from the faculties of Health Sciences, Social Sciences, and the School of Entrepreneurship and Business Innovation were conferred their degrees at the afternoon ceremony. The ceremony also marked the official installation of UG's 10th Chancellor, Professor John Edward Green, whose first duty was to confer degrees and diplomas to the graduating class of 2019.
The imperatives for you as you leave this campus is really to be seen as part of the product and part of the investment in higher education from Guyana, and to give internal recognition for protecting the integrity of your qualifications.
Karishma Narain of the Faculty of Medical Sciences and Shane Rampertab, a student of the Faculty of Natural Sciences, have both been named valedictorians of UG's class of 2019. Both students earned a perfect grade point average of 4.0.
The reason I'm standing here before you today is not because I'm supposedly better than any one student. It is because I was allowed the right environment to succeed.
A similar ceremony will be held at the university's Tain campus on November 23, 2019. Shaquille Bourne for InfoHub.
Good news for the farmers of Lovely Lass. During a community meeting, Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana Livestock Development Authority, Nigel Cumberbatch, committed to conducting capacity training for the production of rice straw silage.
The meeting was a part of the ongoing government outreach initiative and was conducted by the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, Noel Holder.
We're trying to bring government to the people. When you have to go to the city to find politicians, and very often you can't see them. And if you want to see 2 or 3 politicians, you have problems. So we think by coming out in these communities, listening to your problems, we might be able to give you solutions or find solutions to your little problems that you might face.
CEO of the Guyana Livestock Development Authority, Nigel Cumberbatch, suggested the use of rice straw silage as a way to facilitate coexistence between livestock and crop farmers.
Rice straw is a feed that can be used and has been used successfully to feed animals. And I really see no reason why those farmers who are reluctant to remove their animals from the residential area should be continuing to be a nuisance to the people who want to do other crop farming.
It was against this backdrop that Cumberbatch made the suggestion to implement rice straw as a means to utilize the waste from one agriculture industry to feed the other.
Certainly, if we make efforts to gather rice straw, we at the GLDA can show you how to utilize that straw, how to enhance that straw, so you can utilize it. We can also show you how to store the straw safely, so it can be utilized until the next crop season.
While this training has been done before, the GLDA, in its remit to ensure proper agricultural practices, is ready to do it again. Reporting for InfoHub, Nikosi Bruce.
The first storytelling festival was a success as hundreds gathered in Moruca to share stories in the various indigenous languages under the theme One People, Many Languages, Embracing Our Cultural Diversity.
The festival was part of the observances for the United Nations International Year of Indigenous Languages, which is placing emphasis on reviving the indigenous languages around the world. Addressing the gathering was Vice President and Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, the Honorable Sidney Allicock, who said the indigenous people should be proud since Guyana has 9 such languages.
I know for over the years we have been misled and treated in a way that was lesser than who we truly are. And that is by trying to take away our language, thinking that English language was our original language. But English language came as a second language. French, Spanish, Dutch, Portuguese, all those languages came after.
The minister noted that indigenous culture was intact before a lost Christopher Columbus came here and the indigenous peoples tried to save him.
We were first. We had a language. We had our religion. We had our beliefs. We had our civilization. And this was sort of taken away from us. But in Guyana, the government believes strongly that the indigenous languages, the indigenous peoples, and as a matter of fact, all Guyanese must protect and ensure that their culture, their languages be kept.
The Vice President noted too that this year's observances were launched in Aishalton, a community far advanced in preserving their language. He urged persons to value those who speak and work to preserve the languages from the various communities. The Storytelling Festival also saw the display of indigenous produce from the Muruka Sub-Region 1, football and volleyball competitions, and cultural displays, while in the evening persons told stories in the various indigenous languages and prizes were awarded. Reporting for InfoHub, Natasha Smith.
As we close, we leave you with some highlights from the 59th National Athletics Schools Championship. This has been InfoHub Recap, which looked at major stories carried during the week of November 18 to 21. Remember to subscribe to our website for more stories and follow us on our social media platforms. Also, do take some time to review the Diaspora Digest and other publications found on our website. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Goodbye.